Citi TV and follow the conversation using the hashtag KeyboardIdol for updates or visit citytvonline.com. This amazing talent competition is sponsored by Asanka, powered by Tech Aid, and Santor Energy. Keyboard Idol is powered by Citi TV. The quest to find a keyboard superstar starts now.
So, should you leave a cheating spouse?
Can you survive the marriage? I don't think so.
How do you deal with inappropriate family relationships?
For her to be married to you and still have the audacity to be romantically involved with your sister, it's serious.
And indeed, is love good enough reason to marry someone?
Your partner should yearn for you.
Join my sisters and me as we break down the issues, address the problems, and stir up the conversations right here on Citi TV every Friday night at 9 p.m. Sister Sister is live on your favorite station, and of course you can send your messages ahead of time to jessica@cityfmonline.com. Don't forget, Friday nights at 9.
Hello and welcome to the Citi Newsroom. My name is Zoe Abubedu Ado.
And I am Michael Obodu. Coming up,
candidates of the two main political parties engage in promises on the campaign trail. For President Nana Akufo-Addo, who is in the central region, he is promising royalties to traditional areas that host tourist sites.
That a new policy is being worked out to enhance revenue sharing with traditional authorities of the location of our castles and forts along our coast.
The NDC's flag bearer John Mahama, who is in the Volta region, is also promising to fix the Eastern Corridor Road if given a second shot at the presidency.
I believe that if NDC had continued in office, today we won't be talking about the Eastern Corridor Road. It would have been completed. And as I have announced in several places that I've gone, it is a #1 priority for us.
Also coming up, still on our spotlight on long-serving parliamentarians who are not returning to the next parliament, we take you to the Upper West region and examine the legacy of Wild West MP Joseph Yieleh.
And Ghana's COVID-19 active cases reduced to 1,723. Meanwhile, some market spaces in Accra have been identified as not strictly adhering to the nose mask protocol.
Recoveries have been about 41,279, close to over 95% recoveries. Total deaths so far stands at 261.
And later, inmates of Gambaga witch camp call for a proper integration and sensitization plan from the gender ministry before considering the shutdown of all witch camps. Many thanks for your time. The flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has expressed his regret over the uncompleted Eastern Corridor Road during his tenure as president.
The road, which links the northern part of the country to the south, is still in a poor state despite promises by several governments to complete it.
Mr. Mahama, who was addressing chiefs and people of Peki on the last day of his 4-day tour of the Volta region, says it will be completed when he is re-elected.
It is God's will that we did not prevail. But at the same time, it was God's way of letting us appreciate the value of what we had. Because I've always said that if we did not have the opportunity of seeing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP in government, we would not appreciate the work that NDC did when we were in office. My one regret is that we didn't complete this famous Eastern Corridor Road before we left. But by the time we left, all segments of it were being worked on. And I believe that if NDC had continued in office, today we wouldn't be talking about the Eastern Corridor Road. It would have been completed. It's an important link between the northern and southern part of our country. This Eastern Corridor Road goes through 21 districts from south to north. And you can imagine the amount of agricultural products and others that come down this road to be able to reach the markets in Accra and Tema. That is why Professor Mills conceptualized it and started to work on it. I continued, and we didn't finish before we left. But I can assure you that as soon as we come, it is the number one priority.
So the governing New Patriotic Party, the NPP, is set to launch its 2020 manifesto on Saturday, August 22. And already the party says it has delivered 78% of its 2016 manifesto promises. So to get more on this, I've been joined by Head of Research at Citi FM and Citi TV, Nathan Kwal. Thanks so much for joining us on the Citi Newsroom, Nathan.
Thank you very much for having me, Zoe.
All right, so what are some of the major promises the NPP made gearing up to the 2016 elections, and what have they been able to achieve so far out of these promises that they made?
Okay, you talk about promises. Of course, the biggest one, the most popular one, free SHS. That was a very, very huge promise. It got a lot of people going with the NPP. It got them into power. Now, you ask what they've been able to do. Well, of course, they managed to roll out the policy in January 2017. There was some controversy. Some people thought, the state was not ready, government was not ready. It rolled it out anyway. It was backed by funding from the petroleum revenue as stated by the NPP in their 2016 manifesto. Of course, there were challenges. There were some schools which didn't have chairs, desks, and all the drama that surrounded that. But of course, they went ahead to implement. Over time, they've managed to find solutions to deal with, for example, the lack of space. So they introduced the double track system so students could alternate while they were trying to upgrade the schools and add more so you could have more conventional schools. So, it's happened. About 1.246 million students have been able to have gained admission. They've been enrolled, and the numbers have gone quite high. If you look at where we were in 2017 and now, the numbers are quite high. Now, the other big promise was in health, the area of health. Remember, we had been speaking about facilities, ambulances, and all of that. So the government rolled out the 307 ambulances for the one community or one constituency, one ambulance policy. That was done. We all remember very, very grand ceremony at the Independence Square. Then you had these ambulances dispatched to the various countries to deal with that. The other one had to do with trainee allowances for the nurses, and Dr. Baumia's very infamous speech and all of that. Good. Now they managed to restore that, even though in the last week or so we've seen the School of Hygiene students complain bitterly, why don't they have the allowances? The minister said
I think the focus has been more on the teacher trainees and the nurses.
And the teacher trainees. So if you look at the teachers and nurses, theirs have been restored. Of course, the School of Hygiene people like that, but broadly the NPP has managed to do that, follow through on that promise. Now, the area of agriculture, they brought the planting for food and jobs. Now, the psychology or the plan was to help the country increase its production capacity, food, terms of cereal and all of that. That was done to a large extent. They managed to send seeds all over the country. Some of the farmers up north, for example, if you go to Bongo, 2017, 2018, they upgraded or improved on their rice production. That was a good one for the farmers. The other big one on agriculture has to do with cocoa production.
Okay.
Now, ever since right around 2010, where Ghana did 1.2 million or so under Professor Mills, we struggled to get there. The MPP promised reaching 1 million. It did 183,000 tons on the average, so still some way short of 1 million. But of course, you could see the effort that the MPP has put there. Then the economy, the almighty economy, jobs, tariffs, all of that. So the MPP did a number of things. First, they promised doing financial sector reforms. Broadly, yes, of course, we have seen, especially in the banking sector, even though you had 347 microfinance, some banks going down, they've tried to clean up the sector. On the industry side, and this is key because the MPP said it was moving the focus of Ghana's economy from taxation, which they accused the NDC of heavily doing, to production. Yeah. Now, in terms of production, they brought the 1D, 1F. Amidst all the controversies, you had some companies or some factories either being set up or supported to be revived.
It was a private public partnership. Yes, private public partnership. Most of these district factories that we see realize that there are a lot of private sector involvement.
So good example, a Kumfi juice, for example, it's one thing that the government talks about, and it's a good success story. Now, as of June 2020, there were 28 functioning factories under 1D, 1F. So these are some of the things that the government has been able to do to varying degrees. Yes, 28 functioning factories. That's about June 2020. That was the update that came from government and the 1D, 1F.
And this is part of the 78%.
Yes, out of the 70. So you put them all together, that's why government will give itself 78. Of course, there are positives and there are negatives. And if you go to the deliverytracker.gov.gh, the government admits that there are some projects that they haven't done yet. They are still thinking about how to implement it and all of that.
I didn't hear anything about one village, one dam.
Well, yes, there was that as well. And that was met with some debate. If you followed the news, some people said, well, the dams were not there. The dams had been done. Dr. Baumia, in his presentation a few days ago, did say that, yes, some of the dams had been done. Some people were benefiting. They were still working on bringing in some of those things. So you realize that broadly, they've tried to touch on a lot of their key parts of their manifesto, and they've tried to implement as much as they can. Some are still outstanding. Some are still being done. So hopefully by December, when everything comes together and we have to vote, maybe they'll have a lot more to show to the electorate.
Okay, so the recent promise of 88 new district hospitals is not part.
No, it's not part yet, because clearly that's not being done. You get the sense that a lot of groundwork is happening, and then I get the feeling a lot of those things will be seen in the next term should the government be giving a second term.
Okay, so the MPP is set to launch its manifesto on Saturday, August 22nd, 2020. Now, what are some of the things we should be expecting to see? The president, during his tour, especially in the Ashanti region, already gave some hints.
Yes.
So what are we anticipating in this manifesto?
Well, as with all manifestos of parties who are in power and are heading into an election seeking to stay in power, broadly, the manifesto will be in two large parts, and my suspicion is that you have one part detailing what has happened between 2017 and now. It will be a kind of replication of what Dr. Baumia did the other day, highlighting the positives, highlighting the achievements and all of that. And then they will highlight the things that are being done, the things that they hope that will attract the attention of the voter and give them another mandate. For example, you mentioned the 88 district hospitals. A good part of that kind of work will have to be done in the second term. All the promises that are either being delivered or are outstanding, those are the things that will be captured in the other parts of the manifesto that will tell people that, you know what, we've done this. If you give us the opportunity to stay for another 4, these are the things we'll be doing to improve your lives and make Ghana a better country.
I think the president also hinted of progressively free tertiary education.
Well, I get the feeling that looking at the success of the free SHS and how they've tried to fine-tune the system, going into that second term, should the president be retained, you get the feeling that's what he will look at now. That's what he will try to try to work on. Now, if you go back to their 2016 manifesto, they tried saying that tertiary students will be taking off facility fees, user fees, tuition, those kinds of things. Those things are still being paid. So you get the feeling that in the next 4 years, should the president stay on, he will try to attack that promise, make sure that tertiary students also benefit from this progressively free policy, and also get them some relief, because the students do complain. They struggle to pay the fees, they struggle to have money to do other things. And you get the feeling that if that is executed well, it will relieve them financially, and then we'll see what will come out of that.
All right, thank you very much. That was the head of research here at Citi FM and Citi TV, Nathan Kwao. We're bringing you live updates on the NPP's manifesto launch on Saturday. To some other stories now, the question of retaining members of parliament with institutional knowledge and finding the right blend with new vibrant members has lingered on the minds of many political watchers in the country. The second in the part of the series focuses on a 4-term member of the House who brings to bear his experience in pharmacy law and diplomacy on deliberations in the House. There is more in the following report on Wild West Member of Parliament Joseph Yieleh.
Joseph Yieleh has served 4 terms in Parliament. He entered the House in 2004 on the ticket of the NDC representing the Wild West constituency. But his involvement in politics preceded his entry into Parliament. Yieleh joined the NDC when it was formed in 1992 on the resumption of party politics in Ghana. He was appointed by Jerry Rawlings as Upper West Regional Minister in his government in 1993. He was subsequently made the Ambassador Extraordinaire and Plenipotentiary to Algeria with concurrent accreditation to Tunisia, the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic and Mauritania between 1997 and 2001. In February 2009, he was appointed Minister for Local Government and Rural Development by the new President of Ghana then, John Atta Mills. On January 4, 2011, he was appointed Minister of Health by the President, John Evans Atta Mills, in a cabinet reshuffle. He was involved in the famous or infamous dismissal of Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng from Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Joseph Yieleh combines his knowledge in pharmacy, law and diplomacy to provide insight into issues in that sector. He is the immediate past ranking member on the Health Committee of the House. In March 2020, he proposed the implementation of a partial lockdown in the early days of the coronavirus pandemic.
It's getting too late. And when we allow the situation to alarm everybody, the lockdown will be difficult to do. Indeed, if you look at it, we have to explain detailedly what the directives the President has already given, what they mean, and what the implications are for us all as a country. But a lockdown can only be in respect of the big cities, Accra and Kumasi. For them, by this time, there should have been a lockdown.
He, however, called for it to be implemented with the Ghanaian context in mind.
The circumstances elsewhere may even be worse than Ghana, but they've gone ahead to do the lockdown, because the lockdown for a specified period will help all of us see how we can reduce the increasing figures.
In the 2016 election, Joseph Yieleh polled 12,658 votes, representing 42.9%, as against Daniel Dari of the MPP's 7,415 votes, representing 24.89% of the valid votes cast. When the term of the 7th Parliament expires in January 2021, Joseph Yieleh would not return to the House. He lost the NDC primaries in August 2019 to former Executive Secretary to the IGP, Superintendent Peter Lenchene Tobu.
166 new COVID-19 cases have been recorded from 35 districts in 5 regions of Ghana, bringing the total number of active cases to 1,723. Cumulatively, 43,216 persons have contracted COVID-19 in the country since the disease was first reported in March. Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaje, provided the update on the country's case management at a press briefing in Accra. The following report has more.
Cumulatively, we have recorded 43,260 cases. Recoveries have been about 41,279, close to over 95% recoveries. Total deaths so far stands at 261, with the case fatality rate at 0.6%. We have so far tested 431,272 individuals since the beginning of the pandemic.
Providing an update on a survey conducted by the Ghana Health Service on August 5, Head of Disease Surveillance at Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Asiedu Bequin, said the Makula market had the lowest number of traders complying with the wearing of nose mask directive, while Malamata Market recorded the highest figure of traders adhering to the order.
44.3% of the people who were in the market, and I said that there are 5 categories that we actually observed. 44.3 were correctly wearing the mask, and 37.7 were correctly wearing the mask. It tells you that 82% of people in the market had the intention to correctly or have a mask. So we decided to look at the 4 markets, which of them had the best in terms of correctly wearing a mask. And this slide is showing that Malamata, actually 52.1% of people who were observed in Malamata were correctly wearing a mask, as opposed to Mokala that had 41.3.
He added that in terms of community compliance, the Kolegono Beach area recorded the lowest number of people who wore the nose mask.
You can see from this breakdown that the Kolegono Beach Road is the area that has the lowest in terms of people who are correctly wearing the face mask. You can see that it's less than 2% of the persons were actually wearing it. And rather, the people who were going to Tema Hospital were the people who had the best. They were actually, 90% of them were correctly wearing the face mask.
Meanwhile, at the same event, the Ministry of Information, Kojo Oponkroma, revealed that Cabinet had directed the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations to ensure the exemption of security services from the unification of pension schemes for public sector workers.
Cabinet considered the recommendations of the report, seeking the following actions for the completion of the unification process. 1, the exclusion of the security services, that is, the police service, the immigration service, the National Fire Service, the Prison Service, as well as other security and intelligence agencies. And 2, the amendment of Act 766 to exclude the security services from the unification of pensions. Cabinet granted approval for the above actions and directed the Minister for Employment and Labour Relations to commence processes to have the law amended to reflect this decision.
Let's still stay on the novel coronavirus, and it's no secret that the virus, the coronavirus pandemic, has wreaked havoc that transcends the huge number of infections and deaths worldwide. Just like any other country that is battling COVID-19, Ghana has had many sectors of its economy badly affected. One of such is the educational system, following the closure of schools for nearly 5 months now. In the following report, Citi News' Akosia Ofewa Opoku takes a look at the impact on private basic schools.
Markets should be crowded and busy with shopping as parents purchase items ahead of the resumption of schools for a new academic year. However, COVID-19 has made that impossible. With barely a month away from what could have been the resumption of schools, no clear indication has been given by government yet. But the Ghana National Association of Private Schools believes the decision to be made is a no-brainer.
Education experts are telling us 1.5 year of kids sitting idle at home and not learning is very dangerous to your educational sector. It could collapse. You can have a total collapse. How does the collapse happen? The longer children stay out of school, the more they lose the appetite for learning to begin with.
The resumption of schools would particularly be good news for heads of private schools, but how have their operations been impacted in the last 5 months? Faustina Sichofe Azamiti heads a private basic school in the Volta region.
School owners are now down financially because most of them could not retrieve their school fees before the closure. And we are pleading with the government to reopen school come next month, September, so that we can go back to school and we, the teachers, can also get something to satisfy our basic needs.
Another group of persons that have been affected in the chain is teachers. While many have lost their jobs owing to the closure of schools, others are struggling to keep body and soul together owing to a cut in their salaries. Simon Yin is a teacher at a private school based in the Upper East region.
Considering where my school is. There was no way we could do e-learning. It was not possible. So all through that period, the school was just shut down. Nothing was going on in the school. So I think schools have to be reopened now. But before then, there have to be certain measures put in place to ensure that when we go back to school, we are safe.
In light of these, the Ghana National Association of Private Schools is calling for the immediate reopening of all schools, much to the advantage of the country's educational system.
We have proposed that by September, by the close of September latest, schools must reopen in full swing. There is simply no reason why we should still keep our schools shut.
The Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources, Cecilia Abinadapa, says students of the School of Hygiene should streamline their information with the Ministry for onward payment of the allowances. The students have been agitating over the non-payment of the allowances since 2017. There's more in the following report by Citi News' Nashika Caesar.
The police are searching us.
After fighting hard for the allowances they thought had eluded them for 3 years now, students of the School of Hygiene can now heave a sigh of relief as the Sanitation Minister has given her word that they will soon receive their monies.
The feedback was that clearance is almost ready and that in due course we are going to receive a very good news. But then the issue is that our brothers and sisters who are in Ho and Temale Schools of Hygiene, some of them did not submit their e-switch details. And for clearance to come, it means that all of them must be included. So we should tell them with immediate effect to make provisions for their e-switch number to be added.
Very well. You said that they assured you that the clearance will be given. Did they give you any clear timelines on when exactly this will happen?
Okay.
Be it that you've already been having a back and forth with the ministry and all that.
Okay.
So,
all right. The timeline now depends on we submitting the data. Okay. Now she indicated that has it not been that. Okay, today there would have been a very, very good news for the student body, but then in as much as we are demanding for payments for all students, they must also ensure that they will get data for all students before payments are made.
The students have demonstrated on several occasions to demand their monies, but so far, those efforts have not yielded the desired results. On Monday, the students gathered at the Sanitation Ministry for another episode of picketing, but this did not go too well for them as they clashed with the police, leading to a number of them getting injured. But they didn't give up. They went back on subsequent days until eventually the minister would grant them an audience. At a meeting with leadership of the group on Thursday, the Sanitation Minister assured them that financial clearance will be given for the allowances to be paid.
She has come out to categorically indicate that very soon we are going to get clearance to the effect that we are going to receive our money. So this time around, we are actually taking the words of our minister for what she is actually saying to differentiate from other promises that we've heard from the directors and what have you from the ministry. That is why we believe that this time around something concrete is going to happen.
Reporting for Citi News, I am Nashika Caesar.
You are still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Still ahead, we'll take you on the campaign trail where President Akufo-Addo is in the Central Region promising royalties to traditional areas that host tourist sites.
Details of that story and more after this break. Please stay with us.
Rigworld Solutions, forging the frameworks of Ghanaian industry. Engineering solutions from the heart of Takrade, Kejebil. At Rigworld Solutions, we manufacture industrial bolts and nuts, fasteners, hoses and fittings for the extractive and petrochemical industries. world-class products with local expertise. Locate our factory in Kejebil off the Takrady Takwa Road. Call 0302-949917 or 0540-107504. Email enquiries@rigworldsolutions.com. Rigworld Solutions, crafted in Ghana, engineered for the world.
This is the beating heart of an African ready for what is next. And this is the sound of a Ghanaian drum setting the pace. Together, it creates a seamless rhythm of what is and what is to come. A sense of purpose which says that there is more to the Ghanaian than a dream. Ghana always stands ready, and First National Bank is happy to invest, partner, and help Ghana to discover more. This is why we are happy to announce our acquisition and subsequent merger with GHL Bank, Ghana's leading provider of mortgage financing. A merger which delivers an opportunity to discover more growth and prosperity for all Ghanaians. Shh. Listen to the heart beat to the rhythm of the drums. It is time for Ghanaians to discover more together. First National Bank and GHL Bank come together as First National Bank. How can we help you?
You're welcome back. The Ghana West Municipal Assembly in the Greater Accra region has cut sword for the construction of a 26-kilometer road in the municipality. According to the Assembly, the construction work will cover roads within the Ablekuma, Oduman, Nsakina and adjoining communities. There is more in this report.
Drivers and residents within Ablekuma, Oduman, Afuaman, Nsakina and its surroundings have staged several demonstrations to compel government to fix their deplorable roads. According to them, the bad nature of the roads has had a toll on their businesses. Speaking to Citi News on the sidelines of a sword-cutting ceremony for construction works on the road in the area, some of the drivers called for the immediate commencement of work.
As you can see, there's nothing I've done here. You understand? Yes. So that now the president says it's now come to do the road for us. Yes. That's why I'm saying that if he's come to do the road for us, yes, he should tell the contractor to do a quality road for us. Yeah. How is it worrying you? Oh, that's why I'm saying that, as you can see in my hands, I'm just coming from Sokai. You are Fitani? No, I'm not a Fitani. I'm just coming from Sokai. I'm a driver. As you can see, every 3 days a week, I used to go to shop, go to Absokai, go to bypass. As you can see in my hand, just a single shots in my hands, almost 150 Ghana. Yes. So as a driver or a car owner, always going to Absokai, buying 150 Ghana, 200 Ghana, or whatever it is. How much do you get?
Kwano, ye pesimun ya kwano mai, ye pacho, ye bread rough. Kwano so ye springs sub boost springs. Na say we bear for 2 days sabubu kwano balance tie pamacho tie pese pamacho omommodin se o maka no entimi mbram na omonye kwano mai
mo ka otalo le mikete no ke ba o ja fe wo he ko minte e wo won pafa ya na omobo o na ba fe ya o tomo 6 years ago ne aka ya fe ni ji honorable lai EKF 6 years ago na shigbe na anu afeku ewo won pa amefai amena omobo o na ba fe ya o na ba aka tine ahanu wona aka ya mentu ni lele koni hiemo na me ba nwe ka fe follow amek ba fe tomo tutu no ne ba hoe simeni hia ho ka me hia gbe no e anto.
The Municipal Chief Executive for Ghana West, Clement Wilkinson, says the construction of the road is expected to be completed in 18 months.
This road has been
a bad luck for me since I resumed the office. But if you can see today, we are doing the shortcutting for this particular route. The president was here, I think 4 months ago, and he promised the community that this road will be fixed by the end of this year. And I can promise you that that promise has come, and we are seeing it today. We have 26-kilometer road, Mahia, Afuaman, Oduman, Isakena, Obeye, Bokoboko, Joma, and Abase. And I know this contractor has been given 18 months to complete this road. By December, we will see a lot on this particular road.
Work is progressing at the John Agyekum Kufuor Estates in the Ashanti region. One of the project's Vice President, Dr. Mahama highlighted during a town hall meeting on the infrastructural achievements of the Akufo-Addo administration on Tuesday. Citi News checks also revealed that the construction of 2 housing units, which were also mentioned during the presentation, have also been completed. Citi News' Ashanti regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani visited the project sites and reports.
The Vice President at the town hall meeting in Accra said the Akufo-Addo government initiated over 17,000 infrastructural projects in various parts of the country, with over 8,000 of them having been completed, while the remaining are ongoing. Parts of the John Agyekum Kufuor Estate at Kejasi in the Ashanti region, workers were busily putting finishing touches to the Kwadaso projects. In 2018, President Akufo-Addo cut sword for the construction of 120 housing units made up of houses and apartments. The project, which has been named after the former President Kufuor, is aimed at addressing the country's housing deficit. Some contractors were on regular supervision of work when Citi News visited the site.
You can see it's first. We have done almost 70-80% now. And now you are seeing, you can see the carpenters, those who are making the POP, they are all on their way. I for one, I started this project about a year ago, and it's ongoing. So many people have reached a certain stage, and it's going on. This is a living room. Here is the living room, and the bedrooms are there. And here is the dining hall. The kitchen is here. The storeroom is next to the kitchen. Okay, according to the agreement we have done for them, they are doing well.
Oh, very nice. This housing corporation, I don't get problem with them financially or any deficiency. They always cooperate with the contractors. The work is ongoing. Oh, very nice. In fact, we have been with them for almost 6 years. And this project, I have 14 buildings here without any problem. Okay. Oh, I normally come here twice a week. I have my foreman here. I cooperate. I talk to him on a telephone. So I just communicate with my workers every day.
The projects are being constructed by the State Housing Company Limited. Roads leading to the sites are being constructed. Electricity and water sources are also being extended to the facilities. Work is ongoing at this site at the John Agyekum Kufuor Estates, and housing units are at various stages of completion. Reporting from Kejasi in the Achumawebeje district in the Ashanti region, Hafiz Tijani for Citi News.
Let's also stay in the Ashanti region, where residents of Kase in the Asukwa municipality who were displaced by Wednesday's night fire outbreak are calling on authorities to come to their aid. Several persons have been displaced as they await help from disaster management officials who assess the extent of damage on Thursday. Citi News' Edward Opomafo reports.
The affected persons are mainly settlers in the area and have built makeshift structures as shelter for their families. The fire, which started on Wednesday evening, razed down about 21 structures. The displaced persons, who include nursing mothers and children, say they currently have nowhere to sleep. The caretaker of the makeshift structures and other persons who have been severely affected spoke to Citi News.
It has affected almost 21 rooms here. 21 rooms. Which, if let's say each and every room has four people inside. So we are appealing to the government to come and assist us in order that we have run homeless.
This year, the mini baby that's this year, mini baby amenda. This our year, that's our collar. 2 years a collar. This year, me hundi amenya. It's mobia and penny for it in that woman. This year, mini baby amenda. We see council iron. Ash. This year, minister and the cocoa hand and this year, Mikase.
Catch I say here, buy more. I buy no we are more no more because baby are ready. Ye nyoman in ashi, ye nyabian cranny, baby a better cried. Tia buy more and never been for 18 to.
National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO officials who visited the area say they are yet to submit a report on the incident to the regional secretariat to determine specific support for victims. Adusei Kweku Andrews is the emergency operations officer of NADMO for the Asukwa municipality.
The assessment we've done, what we've arrived so far is that people said the fire started down there, but normally when fire starts like that, it should spread downwards. But surprisingly, it came up, which means there was fuel at this area, which attracted the fire from below to the top of the hill. Yeah, and also regarding the victims who are displaced, we will forward our report to the regional secretariat. They will bring an initiative so that we can make safe haven for them. Maybe temporarily we can relocate them to schools and churches so that they can find shelter there for some time. Later on, some of them will relocate to family and friends and they will settle down. So we suspect it will be about 94 to 100 people who have lost their shelter around this place.
For now, the officials from the Ghana National Fire Service have begun investigations to ascertain the cause of the fire outbreak.
Women and children appear to be those who have been badly affected, and they have one call. They want authorities to come to their aid. From Kasi, I'm Edward upon Malfo for Citi News.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. My name is Michael Lobudu and I'm here with
Zoe Abubedu Ado.
Still ahead on the Citi Newsroom, inmates of Gambaga Witch Camp call for a proper integration and sensitization plan from the Gender Ministry before considering the shutdown of all witch camps.
Please stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Have you heard of Wheel of Fortune?
No, what's that?
Register on betplanet.com.gh. Select Wheel of Fortune and win a prize.
What? Wait, I'm just gonna win a prize because I'm new?
Yes, but to win a prize, you only deposit 10 Ghana Cedi.
Before I win, I have to pay?
Really? So you're comparing 10 Ghana Cedi to an iPhone, an iPad, 25,000 Ghana Cedi? Eh? Would you me a drink? Okay, then split. Wait, we are ready. We are ready.
Close-up deep action with antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
Thank you, sir. Hello, my name is Samuel Ofori, a film actor and a film director. Because of the nature of my job, the taste for quality things is endless. Quality phones, quality laptops, quality TV sets. Let me show you my secret. Here is Franco Trading Enterprise. My secret for quality laptops, quality phones, quality TV sets, accessories come. External hard drive, pen drive, name it. For bulk purchase and retails come to Franco Trading Enterprise. They will reduce the price for you. Franco Trading Enterprise. Home quality.
Welcome back to the Citi Newsroom. Let's do more stories. On his first day of his tour of the Central Region, President Akufo-Addo has indicated government's plan to outline a new policy that will enhance revenue sharing among traditional authorities along the coast of the country. He inspected the ongoing Trifo-Praso Government Hospital project and the construction work on the Trifo-Praso Bridge. Akufo-Addo promised to complete the project on time. Central Regional correspondent Calvis Tete has the rest of the story.
The president and his entourage touched base with the people of Elmina in the Commander Edina Iguafo Abrim, where he cut sword for the rehabilitation and expansion of the Elmina Fishing Port project aimed at strengthening Elmina's position in the fishing and salt industry. Addressing the people of Elmina, President Akufo-Addo indicated his government's preparedness to support traditional authorities with revenues from tourist sites along the coast of Ghana in line with government's policy. He also promised to complete works on the ongoing London site for the people of Elmina.
I want to reaffirm, in response to Edina Mahin, the statement just made by the Minister for Tourism, Creative Arts and Culture, that a new policy is being worked out to enhance revenue sharing with traditional authorities on the location of our castles and forts along our coast. And government recognizes the significant contribution of the fishing industry to our non-traditional export market. In spite of the good strides we have been making over the years in the industry, in relation to infrastructure development for fishing communities, we believe that we can do more in terms of export of processed fish and fish-related products to rake extra revenue for our country.
At Trifo-Praso, Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amoakwata said government would complete all abandoned road projects if given another 4 years in office. According to him, as of January 2017, when the new Patriotic Party government took over from the NDC, 39% of roads across the country were in good state, out of a total of 80,000 kilometers of roads across the country. He was optimistic that when given another mandate, the new Patriotic Party would complete most major road projects.
From independence, President Akufo-Addo, Ghana Kenya, 80,000 kilometers. As of January 2017, now Kenya, 23%. The remaining 77% as of January 2017, now 39% of Ghana crime, and now going to Papa. 39%, 32% now AFL, 29% poor. Ukabonga, only 39% Nana Ayegu. The remaining 61%, now in deplorable condition. And so the Jawa near the swamp, the Japan, Obama, and then Muhe Akaya Aircosu throughout the country.
The paramount chief of Trifo traditional area, Obrimpong Nana Apia Nwama, called on President Akufo-Addo to complete ongoing projects, including a major bridge that connects the town and the Trifupraso Government Hospital.
Chufu Etimukwa Mensimu, Yada was a say, O your Sia de na bra, Obaha, Oka say, Brejeno, Obayeno, and then Obia who say, Ampa, Waba, Obecha Humem, near Fiasia, Yaya Brejeno, Yada was it, Yedi Kain. Bra Obaha no mono, Yadi assembly to Enum. Say, in Shia. A mensia woman in sure prano mumienu na sania that bridge in etiano near me pure honoma yet to see war in Suneja. Inti Yasra was say, a Yamokwa Health Center no, Bomadia na peja mumaye, say the Padua ewo in Sunejano, or Mososo, yet to me, Amasa Health Center no, yet to me Abwaye, and young Kwan Ababwa. In Kura Echa and Huesia, any amazing horror, a bit to say, upper danger, any Asin Centra.
A group of alleged witches at the Gambaga witches camp say it will be counterproductive if communities are not sensitized on their reintegration before the various witch camps are closed.
Following the uproar that greeted the lynching of 90-year-old Chireh Dente over accusations of being a witch, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection started an advocacy for the immediate closure of all witch camps across the country.
But the alleged witches say without tackling the fundamental problem, the closure will only endanger their lives.
The alleged witches said these on the sidelines of press conference organized at Gambaga in the northeast region to commensurate with the family of the 90-year-old Chireh Dente, who was murdered under the instructions of a self-styled traditional priestess at Kafaba in the Savannah region. Correspondent Maxwell Souk reports.
Filing out of the door one by one, the women sang to remind themselves of the favor of God in their lives. They each showed scars they obtained through torture by the accusers. Kolugutindana, one of the accused women here, recalls how she was tortured, brutalized and banished from Zarantinga to live in the Gambaga camp 8 years ago.
The bunya mahanefina. Mawanda wum da kumni. Banda kuma, nanda wum da kumni. Dabalo at wum den ba ku ayan kurgo. The bunyasa. Bantum lalama babutum sunga. Wamnanti duaman guaka zugu. Inya fatam basi. Kala ya kuten na. Tamiza nya nyirba. Ugwa sungan fatam basi. Da wum di da ku kum ne ma da wum da ku kum ne de dar halen sisi. Ne bwana kaba nungulala tazanya nyirba kanyim bang ne unang zala ngo inyane ku dugun yari ngwara kawura ke bu halen ta ku baya ku ni la tan par na wunna da yima barana kuma na wunna da yima barana kuma har ka kyan zang ma fan kana ne bayan yamani kaba ta shin ma yito la ka yin fuasu ne ba kwargam ma la da nyeri kan chakwana ma.
The women, numbering about 8 of them, now see the Gambaga camp as a safe haven for them. Reacting to the call by the Ministry of Gender to close down the camps, the women unanimously agreed that it will be a wrong step if the necessary mitigating measures are not put in place.
Ki yan bodum ma ka ba jin ta fi ka ban param ba ta zani ya duwa wurin kunna e duwa wurin kun ka ba sak iya duwa pa ta yani iya ta yani to da su gwamnatin nan an ya ji ta himani an jiba azama ka ba gum ka tana an kun yin wan kur ta pa wan kur ka ta za ku to duwa lam kur da yin ni sa ka fin nan ngam la pa ka le mak ka betua ka yet nam mi kwenta ha kwena ya ki sa ka pakanam nka fete ba tunguna so bi tirde tuso ama kumni kanir kuma biyan da ni nyaba din biyan kuma me bin yalam di ma nyala ya nka gambana mbe be tole yile be changla le gum be tole yile karga mbe be tole yile nka na to pokma min di ma ne biyan ka yona ku kuli yana.
Samson Laro, the project coordinator of the Go Home Project, an initiative of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana which offers assistance to the accused women at the Gambaga camp, also disagrees with the minister's call to close the camps, arguing that the attacks on Ekwia and many others were not carried at the camps.
Just because you have seen a video of a woman who has been killed, and in any way, the woman was not killed even in a camp. She was rather killed in a community. So what we are calling for is more community sensitization programs. For instance, we are doing the advocacy at the communities. And you know what? It's giving us good results. So we are rather calling on the ministry to help us in this fight. Let us do the right thing. Let's talk to people. Let's get the communities committed so that we can be able to send them home peacefully. That is what we are thinking about.
According to Samson, about 9 women have successfully been reintegrated back to their communities since January 2020. He however appealed for support from individuals and organizations to assist the camp with food and other consumables since times were getting hard for the women.
We want to also appeal that, look, it's very difficult taking care of our mothers. It's not something easy. Their health, as you can see, many of them are old. Because of their ages, it's a problem for us. So please help us with the resources you have. Let's feed the women. Let's educate even their children.
That'll be all on the Citi Newsroom. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more information on our top stories and more.
Subscribe to CitiTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV.
Download the Citi Newsroom app from the Google Play Store or the App Store and keep updated on the go.
You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182.
My name is Zoe Abubedu Ado.
And I am Michael Obodu. Happy birthday, Zoe.
Thank you.
As always, stay safe. Thank you for watching.
So, should you leave a cheating spouse?
Can you survive the marriage? I don't think so.
How do you deal with inappropriate family relationships?
For her to be married to you and still have the audacity to be romantically involved with your sister, it's serious.
And indeed, is love good enough reason to marry someone?
Your partner should